Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you all stand with me and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I did not grab the sheet. Is there any public input from anyone? Pat, did you have anything?
Only in case something comes up, I would like to.
Yeah, that's no problem. I just didn't know if there was anyone that had anything. No? Okay. All right, so getting started, I don't believe we have any changes to the agenda. We have no public input. We are having recordings by Dawn Blouck, Dot Agu, Carissa Castle. For personal reasons, you're recording for accuracy of minutes. All right. Township officials input. Do either of you have anything?
I have nothing.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so no new business. Moving on to the old business, employee manual discussion. Last time we talked about this, we were on page 17. So if we can just, I guess, go through the comments that are on the right for us, and if we have anything that either of you noted. I think we left out on comment PMA 13. Do we want to allow carryover? Did we discussed that at length and
Yeah.
changed that?
I believe
Okay.
we were in agreement.
Okay. And then the next one there, addressing how employees are paid if they are called on a holiday, in on a holiday. So question being if, I believe, I have overtime and holiday written there because as it was explained to me, the question was currently if they work 40 hours, for instance, the highway crew works 40 hours and then they get called in on a Saturday to remove snow, they then get paid holiday or paid overtime, but then what if it's also Christmas? Currently, right now, I think it has been, they get paid overtime and holiday pay. And I just noted here if there was any change or if we wanted any change to that or any,
So currently they'll get their overtime plus, their 8 hours holiday pay.
yes.
I think they should, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so no change in that. All right, I'm fine with that also. Next question, no paid holidays to employees until after a certain amount of months. I think, do you happen to know what it is now, Glenda?
For which one?
Num-
For holidays?
Yeah,
It's
it's 6 months, that's what I was gonna say that I thought it was, but do we wanna change that?
I think we should have everything coincide, my personal opinion with that, like with the 90 days,
Health
healthcare.
insurance,
I think it all should be one. Once they're through that probationary period, then.
I agree, it gets too confusing with
Yeah,
different
I
dates everywhere.
agree. I don't see the if you hire someone, you expect them to stay, right? So
once you
I don't
make
see
that
the reason once you
determination.
make.
So the same as the healthcare, we decided was 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to page 18, unless either of you had anything more on 17? Yes?
Yeah, just when a holiday falls on, there's a comment here. Okay, that's the months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. What does, okay.
And this note was just mine.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this, and I'm probably gonna regret asking this,
It's just a discussion.
but, okay, so I know the day before, like the Friday before Easter's a holiday, right? But theoretically, depending on when Easter falls, like, someone could have to work Easter Sunday. But Easter Sunday is not technically a holiday because it's a Sunday.
Are you speaking of the collective bargaining agreement or the highway or?
No, I mean,
anyone
it's
in
not,
general?
it's not in.
Good Friday is not a holiday or?
The Friday before Easter is, but Easter isn't because it's always on a Sunday, and that's always a
Okay.
issue,
Now
right?
I'm
So
following you.
depending on when Easter is, right? If it's an early Easter, you could actually get called in for
Snow removal?
snow removal. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know.
Well, I think
Like
that's
said,
why
I'm probably
that's
gonna
laid out
regret-
here, what the 12 holidays are.
I know.
And that's not on there.
I know.
Would you want Easter on there? Is that what
I
you're?
don't know. I just always. I mean, I don't know.
You're fighting for Easter.
Well, yeah, but if you put Easter in there, don't that mean
Yeah, then
everybody
it,
get paid?
then everybody
Right.
would get paid for it. Yeah,
Right.
I get it, alright.
Okay,
It's 2 to 1, you're out, Bill.
moving,
I'm just,
moving
I
on
just
to-
would not wanna get called in on Easter, just saying.
to remove snow.
Which could happen and has actually.
Yeah, it has lots of times, yes.
Just saying.
Okay,
But
do we have,
I'm good with the. how
with the
it is,
not
yes,
Easter, okay.
Sort
Three
of.
person.
As a supervisor, I'm good. As a human being, I don't know. I'm just-
Okay,
Necessarily.
I guess.
you're
not.
taking off your supervisor hat for a minute?
Anyway,
All right, anything else on page 17? Okay, so moving on to 18. Not official, 2 months. Should we, okay, so this is, personal days must be scheduled in advance with employees' department head and must be taken in increments no less than 2 consecutive hours. Not offered to employees until after, again, should we go back
I
to
think it
the,
should all be the same.
the
Once
same-
they're over their probationary period, they're,
So it's 90 days.
okay. Do you agree with that, Bill?
yeah, I do. I like it all being like, because once they're through probationary period, they should get like that. We made a determination, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
All right, so then we're on to 17 there. Do you want to allow such accumulation and carryover?
that's one thing, like, I think we should allow, I mean, I look at that totally different than, vacation. Like, if somebody's healthy and they don't call in sick, they should be able to accumulate some portion, in my mind, if they do have a serious illness, that they shouldn't be.
Penalized?
Yeah,
And
otherwise.
I think we've had in the past, we've had people actually, other people donate their sick leave to
Yeah,
other
which is-
people
Which is fabulous.
when in need. So, thoughts on that, Bill?
I kind of agree. I mean, I definitely agree with Jack. People that have been very healthy most of their career, and then they get a serious illness.
Okay.
I like the idea of carryover. I don't know
What
how.
happens at the end with sick leave though, like, when they retire or separate?
Right? Is that
Right now, we get nothing. We lose it. And with collective bargaining, they're different.
right?
I mean,
Would supersede, okay.
What? Yeah.
Okay.
I would be comfortable
Leaving it.
To accrue, I think.
I'm-
I don't say penalize, and then you create the use it or lose it, attitude.
Right. Yep, okay. So we'll leave it to allow accumulation and carryover for sick leave. And keeping it, and the next question is until the 90 days, we'll do again, the 3 months. I'm assuming. We're all in agreement to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're on to 19 here. That seems just like a legal use
Yeah.
issue. Both of those do. Any other questions on page 18? I'm losing all my stuff here. I'm gonna wind up
And this
having
is the
to-
same as before, or it looks like. Like jury duty.
Yeah, it looks to me like it
80%
was just
close.
Patrick cleaning up
Yeah.
language there. Okay, so now on to 21. I don't think we have to discuss that, do we? I thought we didn't have to, since we have less than 50 employees. I moved on to 6.3,
Yeah.
Family and Medical Leave Act.
I remember I had a note here that relates to the Con Ed credits and stuff. If the employee terminates employment less than 1 year after the course, they may be reimbursed the township. I think that's gonna be tough to get.
Take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd have to. Spend as much
I mean, if
probably
we're-
time and effort and
Yeah, if we're comfortable enough with the employee that we're willing to send them for said training, I would think they would be at a point in their employment where,
They're not gonna ditch us.
yeah, and if they are, like, I don't know, we're in a position to penalize them for.
I'm fine with taking that.
Okay, so removing that paragraph then?
Which,
We're right above 6.3 on page 19. The employee must maintain employment with the township for 1 year, that one.
you want me to eliminate it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you worried about them coming here and getting their training and then going somewhere else?
Well, I think that's what it's written. I think our risk of that's very minimal, and in my past experience, it's very difficult to recoup those costs, and I'd rather not put ourselves even in that position. I don't know that we're sending anybody here for anything that's any large sum of, of money.
Just our sewer guys that have to keep up with it.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff, a lot of the other.
It's mandatory to have their job.
And a lot of that other stuff, they could simply make that argument, well, I had to have it while I worked there, and I worked there then, so I just, and a lot of the other stuff is P-stats, there's no cost to it anyhow, so.
Okay, so then, moving on to Patrick's 21 there. I don't know
Wait
what
for
we need to discuss about that exactly. Yes,
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, some places abide by FMLA anyway. I mean,
even though it's,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I don't know why he put that note there, but that's the only thing I can think of.
And the military leave questions there, I guess it just seems, would depend on what the carrier has, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, without any input back from that, I don't know what they're asking.
All right, Glenda, will you make note to have Jenna tell us exactly what
22 and 23.
22 and 23 needs? I guess 21 also, but,
Yeah, the last
From
thing,
Patrick.
yeah. The last thing I want to do is penalize someone for going, call it the active duty, so just careful about that.
yeah, oh, I agree. Okay.
With that one,
Are you on 24?
yeah, if we're granting it on an individual basis, I don't know why, I'm not sure why that language is in there, but I guess we'll have to wait for.
Well, I think this is, we've had a situation like this, right?
And we deny it.
And we denied it.
Yeah.
So why do we even have this in here? Just to lay it out, that it's allowed, not allowed? So this is asking.
This is saying basically that we can grant it if we want to. That's what it looks to me.
Right, so allowing somebody to purchase healthcare after they need to take a leave.
Well, and even, were you talking specifically that or the whole policy? Like a leave of absence? There's a whole paragraph here about leave of
Right.
absence and,
I was just talking about the bottom part there.
Taking care of an ill child or dependent or ill parent during the employee's home. Right, this is saying an employee can request it and we can grant it if we want to. And then that, I don't know. Yeah, I have questions about this because I just,
What's that? Are you just reading?
that might be one for a list to get some guidance from Patrick on, because, are we subjecting ourselves to, if we meet these conditions, do we have to approve it? Or are we better off with no conditions and taking it on a case-by-case basis, or?
Well, and I guess I'm just wondering, it says up to 3 years here, as long as they're paying the coverage. What if they don't pay the coverage? Then they just get dropped? Are you allowed to do that?
I don't even know if the carrier will allow it if they're not employed here. And that would put them into like a COBRA,
Yeah.
and maybe that's some of her comments.
Okay, so we need to know then, if this is even allowable by our coverage.
Yeah.
And are we bound to doing this? Or is it a case by case? And if it's a case by case, how would you decide that?
Well, and that's what I'm saying, like, if you're doing
Without-
those, you almost have to try to figure every little thing, or else you don't want to discriminate.
Exactly. Yeah,
Are we still on that?
we're still on that. Are you moving on to the next thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, where are you at? 7.2?
I'm actually on 7.1.
Okay.
Like, why? I mean, I get policies and procedures, like, I get the right to know act, I get everything else on that page, but isn't that, I mean, yeah,
Why does that
okay, we
need to
wanna
be
be
in the manual?
cost effective, we want energy savings, recycling, conservation, but I would never, it's not something I've ever seen in a manual.
Okay.
I don't know. You know. Like, do they get in trouble if they don't turn the lights on? Like, that, I don't know. It's not something I've seen.
I would be
man.
fine with removing that. That doesn't,
Well-
I don't think that's,
Like, it's very different than everything else, in my opinion,
I don't care.
in that section, that's all. I'm not against energy savings, I'm just saying it's very different than, like, do we put in, you know, in terms of healthcare, we expect people to, like, exercise and blah, blah, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because that's an indirect cost to the township, but I'm done. I just,
do you have strong feelings that you want that removed?
I mean, I
I
just
have
never
no
seen
problem
it
with it being
in a
in or out?
manual before. Plus, what happens if, like, I don't know, the recycling situation in this area, but it's becoming harder and harder to recycle and costing more and more, because, anyway, I don't know.
Okay,
Same.
so, scratch 7.1.
That'd be
keep
my
7.1.
opinion, yeah.
Jack, either
I
way?
don't care one way or the other.
Okay,
Doesn't matter.
then doesn't need to be in there, then scratch it. Okay, communications with the public.
Section was fine, man.
Yep. Okay. Either of you have anything on 21?
So,
I don't know, 7.4 there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't, that's the path I normally try to take, but I also don't want the employees to feel that they have to route their, you know, if they need, I don't wanna stifle that.
I mean, I gotta tell you, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, in a normal course of business, I get it,
Yeah,
but
Yeah, to limit it just to harassment complaints seems above and beyond. Like, if there's an issue, someone should be able to, if there's an issue with the manager or the chief, I mean, I guess they go from the chief to the manager, would be the natural order of, but what if they can't talk to the manager? And it's not a harassment complaint? Therein lies the problem, which is what we've had, not Currently, I don't know, but in the past, we've had a
That's exactly, we didn't know where we could.
huge
turn.
problem with that. So,
Yeah, I think that's it.
can we figure out a way to relax that policy somewhat?
I mean, I think that it should be written to direct them to the township manager, you know, unless they wish to discuss it. I have no problem with anybody contacting me. I mean, if they quite frankly, if they contact me, if one of the staff contacts me with something that should have went to the manager, that's what I'm gonna tell them.
Right,
You
you're
know,
gonna say, hey, this is an
Yeah,
issue for
you
the
know,
township
right.
manager.
Bring it to me,
Well,
but
see, that's what happened with Tom, that we went to a supervisor, and right away, they went to him, and right away, he started on us.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
what
that's what we're looking at now.
we're saying though, if the complaint was about, and I'm gonna say this in general, right, the township manager, we're not gonna refer that back to the township manager, cause the complaint is with the township manager. If it would,
Okay.
if it was a complaint about something that really should be resolved by the township manager, like, yeah, talk to the township.
If it's a problem with the manager, then the supervisors need to meet with the manager and fix it with the manager.
Right, like anyone really, I mean, I'm not singling out
I
one
just feel
position,
like-
but anyone in management, if the problem is with management and then they go higher up to the township manager and that's not resolved, then yeah, we need to know about it, you know, I mean, I think, you know, I don't wanna make it seem like, we're not trying to bypass the structure, but, you know,
yeah, I just don't want the liner in there with, you know, the only exception is harassment.
Yeah, I agree.
And how we felt then is, well, then who can we turn to? So
Yeah.
just shut our mouths, and then they wanted to know, well, why didn't you tell us? Well,
Mm-hmm.
we
I
weren't
mean,
gonna tell
I'm
you because
okay
we
with,
didn't want to hear it.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with the general outline, you know, the normal chain of command. but
right,
I think that should be rewritten to,
Like a more relaxed
yeah,
statement.
yeah, it's really
the normal course of action is the township manager, you know.
So follow course unless, I don't know, we'll have to. Do you have something noted there, Glenda, to make that
Yeah.
more relaxed somehow? Okay, sorry, I got lost in the staff meetings there. Do you guys have anything else on that page? Okay. Okay, page 22. So the only question I had was, do we actually have a township resolution that says? Do we have a resolution that says about petty cash and reimbursement?
Yeah, there's something.
We do?
Yeah,
Okay,
because I know Patrick was involved in it
okay.
before.
Was that tied up in the 5,000 spending limit? Or then it must come to the
3,000.
board, or 3,000, sorry. Okay, okay, I'll check on that then. Okay. I'm sorry, I skipped over 23. Do you guys have anything on 23? There's a typo in the top of 24, threatening threatening to, the very first sentence. If a caller becomes hostile or threatening, should be to.
Should be a war.
Or,
yeah, should be more.
yeah, sorry. Or, should be something other than ought. Okay, so this paragraph here on 25,
Right.
can we just add a line in there that,
Just that.
Bill, do you guys have a policy or a procedure relating to the paragraph on 25, which is alter or deleting encrypted or add programs or applications?
Yes.
Do you have anything to cover that?
Yeah, we do.
So we just put.
Can we add
Refer to,
a line in there that exempts or follow that procedure?
I guess LPD will follow their own.
I think if you start putting each one, like only inserting that, either we'll need to make a blanket statement about that, I feel, or
Yeah.
otherwise you're gonna.
Are you
like,
doing
well,
that
it didn't
everywhere?
say it here, and it didn't say it there.
So do you think the beginning of the employee
Yeah.
handbook
Yeah, we-
states that would be exempt because it goes above and beyond?
Maybe, I personally think like,
I mean, we can
Get
refer to
through-
the collective bargaining
get
and
through
the,
this,
and the
give it to them to
SOPs.
review, give it to the police department to review, and then we'll, see
Go from there.
where that lands us.
Okay.
Does that land us in a separate document? Does that land us in a paragraph referring to it? In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I was jumping ahead there. Do you have, what page?
No, I was jumping ahead. I'm on
Okay.
27
All
right
right,
now.
do you have something there on 27?
No.
Okay, I was flipping over to 29 already, because that would be another 810.2, that would be another,
When I read through like 25, 26, maybe even 27, like there's 1,000 different ways you can interpret all that mess and.
Right. Yeah, what is good judgment? Just saying. I mean, you have to have a policy in there, I get it.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, the only note we had on 29, right, was for again, referring to the.
Yeah, that was mine.
SOPs and
Just-
CBA, yeah.
And that goes to the same thing as the other
Yeah.
highlighted area.
Yeah. I mean, my preference would be to put something, well, we'll give it to
Well, we
those
had- yeah.
guys, but to just put a blanket statement up front.
Are you saying there's anything you changed on 25, 26, 27, or it's just,
I mean, you read it and I don't,
did you fall asleep through it? 'Cause-
yeah.
It's over, above and beyond, I mean, is there anything we wanna change to make it better?
I don't even know how you'd apply.
Yeah, I mean,
It's 3 pages of don't use the township's electronic communications and emails device for anything other than township business.
right.
And if you do, we have the right to view, delete. I mean, that's what it says about 10 times.
Right.
Sorry, do you wanna
No.
paragraph it down to
No.
that, or
No, I don't-
does
I
the
don't
legalese need to be in
I
there?
don't even want to tackle, I don't know.
No, I-
Somebody wrote that that's far smarter than I am.
Okay.
But I don't, yeah, I don't want to change it either, but I don't necessarily disagree either.
Okay, so we're on 30? I don't see any more notes on anything unless I'm missing something. Do you see notes anywhere, Glenda? I'm assuming you have the same copy we do.
I have her copy.
Okay.
That she was writing on, and I don't see nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't have any other.
No, I mean, honestly, like the stuff that was in there references like the CBA and SOPs, and I think we can take care of it when we get this to those guys.
So that's the last bit of those changes, I guess. And we'll do up a new draft.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
our,
don't we just write
Okay.
everything that you guys?
and then our
Yeah.
course of action, are we, us three in agreement that we'll then send it to the department heads?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Is that where you're
And
at?
the police department, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you were talking about the electronic stuff there, there's some things you have to put down, you have to put the language down that they say you have to put down. You know, where I worked, you had, you know, take care of your equipment, don't, but basically, the one line said, your emails are not your emails, they're ours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like,
That's-
6 different places in there, it says it's not, you know, don't use it for this, don't use it for that. If you do, we can look at it, we can delete it, we can do this, and then it says 4 more times. Just seems redundant, but
It
somebody.
refers to social media and how to use.
Somebody
social
went through
media.
the effort to write it.
okay. Any other questions on any of that exciting stuff?
So I guess what the plan is, to get a couple answers clarified, we'll talk about it next time, and it'll be pretty close to a final draft. Is
Yes.
that the thought?
So you don't want to send it yet, you want to go over the questions that we had,
Well,
make
yeah, I
that
think some of
clear?
them are pretty wide open.
Yeah,
Yeah, get answers to those questions, get it in draft form after the next meeting and send it to the department heads in the police department, right? After that.
Agreed.
sound good, Glenda? Okay. So the HVAC upgrade, we are gonna have to table, or I'm gonna make a motion to table, because we had some discussion with James from Fidevia, and he's actually contacted Midstate, and there's some questions as to whether or not Midstate did everything that they were supposed to do. So, I would motion to table it until we have that answer, because I think it was, will they pay for it, or can we contract someone out? If we have a chance to have them pay for it versus paying for it and then them saying, no, we had somebody else do it now. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do you have any questions about that? Comments, Jack? Anything?
It's a mess.
It is a mess.
It's a mess.
Apparently there was a blower replaced too. There was a blower that went kaput on the police side,
Huh.
which
Is
was
that why you're
questions
having
as
the
to,
problems with?
Yeah.
and there was questions as to if that was a result of the fact that these weren't calibrated how they should have been.
Okay,
So it just leads into,
warranty questions.
yeah. If we can get compensated for that from Midstate, because that was a potential, I mean, if it wasn't calibrated to begin with correctly,
Right.
and then now a year-old blower goes and,
So does Howler, do you know, does Howler have the software to control it?
yes. So he can come in, he has the software to do it, and he can come in and go room by room, calibrate them. And then I guess when I talked to Jenna, they had told her we could come in and do that, you guys never have a problem again. Or we come in and then we come back in a couple years later, or whatever. If you find that there's an issue, then we come back in again, or. He said sometimes he never has a problem again, and other times he has to come back in and do it over. If that makes any sense. This was just a loose conversation that I got from Jenna. I guess over time, sometimes they can lose their calibration, I guess. I'm not a HVAC guy, but that was how I understood it. So. But anyways, so I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
So good and welfare, anything from anyone? Okay, so their next supervisor meeting, that cannot be right.
I know, I see.
Something's not right there.
It's a,
Do I just have them flipped?
yeah,
So our next regular meeting
Is
is the 9th, and our workshop
August the
potentially would be the 24th. Okay. So with nothing else on the agenda, I believe we are gonna meet in an exec after this. Are we still doing that with an employee issue? And that's it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
So,
moved.
Okay. I have a
Second.
second from
I'll
Bill.
second.
All those in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Glenda, do you want this? Probably Jenna will want it if you don't want it.